Welcome back to another episode of Movie Mayhem. As always, I'm Spanky.
I'm G.
Alright, so let's get our usual shout-outs out of the way.
Yeah.
Chucky's Playground, as usual. There's lots of fun going on there. You know, lots of good conversations.
Mm-hmm.
There's, we'll let that segue into our movie. But,
yeah.
other shout-outs, Metal Matt podcast. He's in his Metalween. He does the Chucky's Playground news every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
There'll be a link in the description to his YouTube channel. Chucky115 Awesome, continuing on with the videos. He made a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors tribute with the song by Dokken. And that was pretty cool. Dream Warriors is probably one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So, I enjoyed it. Also, shout out to, our good friend Smangry.
Smangry. That's how it's pronounced.
Smangry.
Don't let him tell you any different.
Yeah, he gives us shit because we're like,
It looks like angry, so it's Smangry.
Yeah, and he is an angry fella. But we love him. He's continuing on with Nika's trilogy.
It's almost done, though.
Yeah, the Nika story trilogy. Lots of twists, lots of turn. There's so much detail in it, and I know there's people who bitch about it. It's like, you shouldn't go in this much detail. It's too long. Just shut up and read it. Like, you're not going to
By the time you're done bitching, you'll be done reading.
Yeah, it's such a good story. It's worth the read. It's something you can sit there and read.
We sound like an Everest College commercial. What are you doing just sitting on your couch? Pick up the phone!
Yeah, go there and read a story. But, you reading it, it feels like you're almost watching it in your head. And, while we're mentioning our good friend Smangry, we're, the Trilogy of Terror coming on Halloween.
Halloween night. 3 stories written by myself, Spanky, and Smangry.
And it's an anthology type thing with an outer plot, with a little twist, turn.
You got 3 different kind of writing styles in there, so you'll see one's very English, one's very Canadian, and one's very American.
America! Fuck yeah.
We're too polite to be invasive.
Oh, you're such a hoser. You don't even know what you're talking about. Go play some puck, you fucking hoser.
Fuck you. That's all I can say.
It's because it's true.
I know.
So, I figured I would bring this one thread that kind of came up, because there was since there was that screening of Bride in LA a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, it'll be like a month ago.
Don Mancini made a joke, and everyone took it seriously. And it's people.
About a crossover between Chucky and Annabelle. And everyone blew it way out of proportion, thinking he was serious. They took it so seriously, he had to send a tweet saying it's not serious. So it just spawned all these curiosities. I mean, it's fun to talk about crossovers.
I hate crossovers, so I'm glad.
So, which that kind of leads us into the movie. We actually just got back from the theater about an hour or hour and a half ago from seeing it. By the time it comes out, this movie's probably been out for 2 or 3 weeks. We just got back from seeing Annabelle, which is prequel.
It's a prequel to like an aspect of The Conjuring.
Yeah, so if you remember The Conjuring, it kind of opened up with Ed and Lorraine Warren talking about the doll.
Yeah, talking with 3 victims,
nurses or something like that, and it and so after The Conjuring came out. Which, that movie, I thought it was pretty decent. It wasn't anything spectacular. That Annabelle doll in that movie gained a lot of popularity. And it kind of created a lot of demand for its own movie. And we got it. And,
Jinx!
And so, Annabelle opens up with the same way The Conjuring opened up. Because it's a prequel. It happened previously, but this movie doesn't have Ed and Lorraine Warren in it at all.
Which kind of sucks. I like that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
We were mentioned a couple of times.
Yeah, and, overall, I don't think this movie sucked or was terrible, but it wasn't that good.
No, it wasn't.
So, it was just kind of your, meh movie.
It was one of those traditional, the trailer is better than the
and it's 90 minutes of jump scares and
that weren't even good.
There are a lot of messed up parts. Like, I could see you getting freaked out in the theater, and
God,
you saw me cracking up about to laugh because I'm messed up like that. But, like, there's parts where, a quick synopsis of the movie, there's and
there's going to be spoilers. Just
so tough shit.
Yeah.
There's a couple, husband, wife is all preggers, and...
She's pregnant for a long time.
Yeah, she was. And they move into a house... And she gets that Annabelle doll. And then in the middle of the night, their neighbors get murdered by their
daughter who ran away to join a cult.
Yeah, and her husband, the daughter's husband. And the daughter's husband comes in and stabs the pregger girl in the stomach. It's pretty cool.
God.
And, that's kind of where the whole haunting comes from, because they were into this cult about devotion to a ram. Some shit like that. And
you know what the ram is, right?
It's the demon child.
So it's not just an actual, ram.
So, I was very interested to see this movie because I'm, as a Chucky fan, I'm interested in, the living dolls or living toy movies. Like, you got your Puppet Masters, you got Chucky, obviously. Even in Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy.
That was the best one.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5
yeah.
of them. And then other ones, there's Demonic Toys. That's not that good. There's, I kind of just like...
Toy Story.
Dolly Dearest. Which, have you seen that?
No.
Well, maybe in the future I'll keep it on there. There's obviously dolls from back in the day.
Dolls are just freaky.
Dead Silence, which...
Yeah.
In terms of, the doll moving in this movie, that's what I was hoping to see, but it kind of didn't. It really didn't.
No.
It's more or less, it shows it sitting in a room in one position, then they come back and it's in different. There's more or less, these demons or, I'm trying to think of a word to describe, just...
Beings.
Yeah, those.
Evil beings that are... that's why it makes it seem like they're moving, is because the human eye can't see.
The one scene where it does look like Annabelle is alive or moving, it's because it shows there's the demon behind her picking her up later, but you can't see him because he's black and it's in the middle of the night. And, the story goes, they get this Annabelle doll in the mail because they love it, and neighbors get murdered. And all this freaky stuff starts happening. Then she has the baby even though she got stabbed. And they move into an apartment building because the house is starting to get haunted.
That baby is so cute.
Stupid baby.
No, it's so cute. I want one.
And so, some of the parts where G was a little scared or whatever, where I was laughing, we were like...
No, I wasn't scared. I was deeply disturbed.
There's a scene where the wife is... walking down the stairs, and there's these 2 little children, and one of them's coloring pictures, and she kind of talks with them, and then when she comes back, she sees a picture, and it looks like the kid drew a picture of her and the baby in the carriage or whatever, and she's like, oh, that's nice, they made us one. And then she walks up the stairs, and there's another picture. And it's the same thing, but there's a picture, a drawing of a truck far away. And I'm like, oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, no.
And then she goes up some more stairs, and the truck is closer in another picture. And eventually there's just a picture of the baby all bloody. It's
Spanky died when he saw this final picture.
Because I saw it coming in. It's made in crayon and whatnot. And then there's some other... It's got all your typical stuff you'd find in a Paranormal Activity movie. Lots of doors closing, lots of screaming, lots of people not believing the person who's experiencing everything. And, the wife kind of befriends a bookstore lady.
Yeah, I was hoping she was a witch doctor.
Yeah, and she kind of becomes a little bit vital near the end, and it's pretty much the mother keeps getting terrified by this demon and all that. The husband kind of doesn't. He's kind of away the whole time.
Because he's a doctor, works night shifts.
Yeah, and they even get help from a priest, and he gets owned. And, and And then, then it kind of just, it's all those, like, jump scares and whatnot. Then it leads up to, like, when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
And it's in the events of one night. And so, pretty much, the wife and the lady from the bookstore, her name is Evelyn. And the mom's name is Mia.
And the daughter's name is Leah. I hate that.
Mia and Leah.
Like, ugh.
And, so, like, it just starts happening. Lights going off. Baby is crying. The Mia can't find her daughter. And Evelyn's like, we gotta get out. We can get it back.
Which is dumb. Like, no, you gotta get the baby first.
And then she comes back and she's seeing on the ceiling, like, her soul.
Mia's questioning, like, Annabelle. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah, and, like, it's told that it's not going to leave them alone until they get a soul. And it's trying to trick them, and since it's a baby, like, it can't have a soul unless it's offered it. But, like, since a baby's innocent or something,
baby's not, like, able to offer.
It's stupid.
It's not,
they're
my
stupid.
God.
But, and then there's the next scene where G kind of cringed a little bit, and
I
was laughing. But
I had my hand over my mouth the whole time. Like, my freaking heart sunk. I was so disturbed.
But, like, Mia comes in, sees the Annabelle doll, and she starts getting pissed at it and starts beating it over the crib, the metal railings of the crib. And I knew exactly what was going to happen, because, like in Pinocchio's Revenge from our first episode, she starts just slamming it on this, and then she throws it at the door. Camera cuts away, and then cuts back, and you just see their daughter just laying there.
Baby!
Not moving.
I was like, oh my God, no. No.
But it ended up just being a trick.
Thank God.
So it ended up being a different doll, but it kind of winds down. It had a really disappointing ending.
It did. Really, really disappointing.
Yeah, and then...
It had even a little 6 months later thing.
Yeah, it had a little 6 months...
And that baby was ugly.
Yeah, because they got a different baby to look older. For the and, and then, like... Because the whole thing is, like, they couldn't find the doll after what happened. I don't think we'll spoil that for you, but... So they're all like, well, we hope the next people who have it have better luck. And, like... Then it cuts to...
The openings.
Not the opening scene, but it's a scene where a lady comes into, like, an antique shop.
Yeah.
And she buys the Annabelle doll. She's like, oh, my daughter's a nurse, and she loves these types of things. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, because you don't help enough real people. You have to pretend to help a doll.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it ends. Will they make another?
I freaking hope not.
And,
I don't know. I'm just tired of that.
Yeah, so, like, it wasn't that scary.
No, the jump scares weren't even, like, jump scares. Like,
the freakiest part for me was probably when Annabelle started moving. Fuck that shit.
Oh, that was, like, whatever.
And then the only other part would be, like...
That black thing. That demon.
Yeah, well, the part I really liked was when... It's like... It's seen in the trailer. You see it. It's like the door's open and there's that little girl standing. And as the door's closing, she's like sprinting toward the door.
Oh, and that part's lame as hell. You like that?
Well, it was like one of the better parts for me. And then, like, the door kind of blocks her. And then it gets pushed open again and it's a fully grown woman. So, yeah. I mean, it's just pretty much your cookie cutter jump scare movie. It's nothing spectacular. Had a lot of hype.
It did. It did have, because people were expecting, because The Conjuring did so well.
But it didn't have Ed and Lorraine Warren in it. But
and that's the thing.
It ended with, because all this shit is based on a true story, which you're gonna have a big divide on people. You're gonna have people like, oh my god, it's so true, and then you're gonna have the other people like, based on a true story.
Based loosely.
And it's
just like that.
But it ends with, like, Annabelle is in an encased closing in the Warrens' house and is blessed twice daily by a priest.
Month?
Twice a month. Lazy ass, man.
And apparently, they do have an Ed and Lorraine, like the Warrens, they do open their house as a museum.
They're still alive?
No, sorry. Ed is dead. Lorraine is still alive.
Alright.
And they open the house up as a museum, or they have a separate house with, like, some of the artifacts stuff.
Because they were legitimate, like...
They were people.
They were exorcists, weren't they?
Yeah, they were the only recognized, non-ordained demonologists in the Catholic Church.
Yeah. So... And they're... Like, a lot of that's, like... Their handle... Obviously, the stuff that happened in The Conjuring, that was based on... real events.
A lot of movies, The Haunting in Connecticut, Amityville Horror. All of those were Ed and Lorraine.
Yeah, so it's just kind of interesting. That kind of adds an aspect that I like about it.
And that was the coolest part for me. It's like, oh yeah, this was real. Like, these people were real.
Like, the one difference I've heard about the Annabelle thing is that it wasn't really a doll that looked like that. It looked more like Raggedy Ann.
Yeah.
Take that shit seriously. Throw that bitch in the fireplace.
Okay, that Annabelle face is ridiculous.
Oh, it kind of looked like it changed a little. And you were laughing because you turned to me in the theater, and I'm sitting there making the same face. Like,
it was funny as hell. It was funny as hell. And what pissed me off the most, and I don't know, the beginning of the movie when she was pregnant still, and they didn't know because this was supposed to take place in like the 50s and 60s. They didn't know the gender of their baby, and they automatically, like, assumed it was a girl because there was dolls all over that room.
But they painted it blue.
With pink. There was pink in that backsplash.
So, like...
They got green and yellow for that stuff.
Did it say they don't know, or they wanted it as a surprise? They don't
know. No one... Ultrasounds to check that out wasn't developed yet, I don't think. So
they wouldn't have known.
So they wouldn't have known, and they referred to their baby as it. So, but it's like they assumed that the baby was it. I don't know, it just pissed me off. I'm like, this is so... You gotta get green and yellow for that shit if you don't know.
Purple.
Yeah, purple.
So, all in all, like, I wouldn't recommend you rush out to theaters to see it.
No, but I can tell, like, I was surprised there was, like, 3 teenagers didn't squeal.
Yeah, there's some stupid, those young teenage bitches.
Those youth.
And, like, the type who would just scream really loud to be, like...
Annoying.
And get attention.
Like everyone did in Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, like... So, I mean, by the time you guys hear this movie is likely to be almost out of theaters, so...
Sounds like a suicide note. By the time you read this, I'll be gone.
Give me $5,000. Or you'll never see it.
What was that?
But, yeah, so... I just watch it and enjoy it for what it is, but don't expect much out of it. That's really all I can say about that.
Yeah, it was meh.
Very meh. And so, yeah, it just had a lot going for it before you actually see the movie.
Yeah. Because,
as I said, like, The Conjuring sold it. It's just, people wanted more of the doll.
Yeah.
And they got it. Though they didn't really do much.
I didn't care about
the other part you got mad at me for laughing at is when the mom, Mia, was locked in the bedroom, and Leah, the little baby, sitting there, and the demon's, like, knocking books off the shelf.
I thought I was going to hit the baby!
And all these books are just landing around the baby, and I'm like, do it.
No!
Do it.
I was so pissed at you.
I was pissed at the movie it didn't happen, but oh well, you know.
Don't have kids, man.
A man can dream.
Wow.
Tough shit. That baby needs to learn on its own. Shouldn't sit so damn close to a damn bookshelf.
Oh my god, that baby was so fucking cute. That's all I have to say. That's the best part for me was just the baby. I think I'm like, oh my, it waved at those weird kids and oh my god, it was so cute. It didn't sound like that, Jesus.
This dopey ass kid staring, eyeballing people. But yeah, anyway, it's a very mediocre movie.
Oh yeah, just like every other horror movie that comes out
nowadays. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad because the main thing is that it was based on a true story. So
we need another slasher.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of these haunted house things. Like, we've beaten those with the dead stick. Or the dead... I don't know. We've beaten the dead horse with the stick, I think. Isn't that the expression?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's an American idiom, so I should know. It's beating a dead horse. So, yeah. I would... Yeah, check it out. I mean, maybe if you have Netflix when it comes out, or...
Yeah.
So that's all we really have to say about that.
Mm-hmm. What are we gonna do for next week?
Next week, I don't know.
We've got a couple in our minds. We're gonna kind of keep it with the scary because of the month of Spooktober.
Well, not necessarily scary,
but
more like horror, maybe horror comedy.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, I mean, well, I guess we can tell them the next one we're gonna do.
Is that okay? Yeah. So I just mouthed. Yeah. We're doing Ernest Scared Stupid, so we're being
movie is fucking baller.
Nostalgic. I think we're gonna have to rewatch it because I think I was 4 when I saw it.
I have it. It's a great movie.
And that being 4 was 15 years ago. For me.
It was such a great movie.
So so we're gonna be a little bit nostalgic. That's more of a Halloween horror comedy movie.
Well, it takes place.
Well, it's Ernest, man. And
Ernest plays for keeps, so...
Yes.
Exactly. He ain't no punk bitch. He's a Warrell.
He ain't no punk bitch.
So, just keep that in mind, and, thanks for listening. Until next time, stay classy.
See ya.